Thanks for joining our Alcatraz Administration and Archive Management demonstration. We hope you'll find this portion of our archive demo to be informative. Within the admin module, we're going to show you how to create and work with users of the system, set up and assign default and custom system roles, work with participants or custodians and groups, reference the activity logging reports. We'll also select and configure multiple data sources, set retention policies, and view ingestion reports. Let's take a look.
Within the Administration tab, you'll see users of the Alcatraz system. So these are folks that can sign in to Alcatraz and do things with the data, review the data, look at the data, annotate the data, etc., create cases. Their ability to do so is defined by the role that they have been granted. Roles are created either by the end user or you can use one of the ones that is created by default. So a case manager is a default role which gives folks that have been assigned this role limited access to do things associated with the things that they should be doing. So they have the ability to look at cases, for example, edit cases. Edit their own password policy is not something they'd need to do, so you can see they've been denied to do something like that. Participants are synonymous with custodians. They are essentially the owners of the data, or they are associated with the specific data. For example, if there's an email being sent and you are CC'd on that email, you would be considered a custodian or participant. The details of participants are stored here, and you can see part of the detail that's captured is all of the associated buddy names. So there are Twitter buddy names, there are connections buddy names associated with this Eric Young person. Similarly, you can see participant groups that are also within the system. These have been imported from the downstream systems and are used to set policy around things like retention policies, for example. User activity logging gives you the ability to search for and find anything that has happened within the Alcatraz system. So for example, if I wanted to see anytime someone touched a case, anytime someone did something with a role, I have the ability to search on those events and specify a date range that I'd like to search for. Define that date range and then run the search, and what it will provide me is a list of things that have happened that match those criteria. So in this case you'll see, oh look at this, a user named Eric Young created a role. If I drill down into that, I can see the details of the role that was created. What was the access that was given to this role, what was the name, etc. Also, you'll see that in this case, a person named Jill Hearn has done something to create a case, and these are the details associated with the case that was created. So as we get into the content sources section of the Archive Management tab, you'll see there are a variety of sources available to be edited or added. Here we're looking at an Exchange server that is sending content to Alcatraz, and so that's an encrypted connection as needed. Getting into retention and disposition, this is where you define the policies around how long you keep the data. So you can define a name, you can provide some text, you can define a retention period, you can say is it in years or days, is it enabled, yes or no, and that will define the overall info around the retention policy. And then you can define what the targets are. So the targets are, who does this apply to, or what is the network that it applies to, or what is the channel that it applies to. So these are groups that come from the downstream systems. You'll also notice there are a variety of different networks that are being used here, and so you may want one policy for LinkedIn and Exchange and a different policy for something else. And then you may want to define policies based on the channel. So email is a channel that can apply to multiple networks, in this case Exchange and LinkedIn. We already did touch on the exports in the case management section, but another thing that folks often care about is looking at the ingestion. So did the downstream system actually send the data? Did we receive the data? Did something fail for some reason? How much data did we get during that period of time? So we'll, in this case, search by grouping of data source, also known as a cluster. We'll set a search range where we're going to start in June and end, let's see, I don't know, maybe we'll say September 1st. We'll run our search and you will see, oh, there you go, a whole bunch of content that was pushed from the journal demo data source into Alcatraz.
If you'd like more information regarding Alcatraz, please contact Actience at the URL listed on the page. Thank you and have a great day.